Hey everybody! Welcome to Let's Look at OlliOlli2. Welcome to Olliwood. You may be familiar with OlliOlli1, subtitle notwithstanding, and by that I mean I don't know what notwithstanding means. It just didn't have a subtitle. That's what I get for trying to be clever. It was a score attack based kind of minimalistic skateboarding game. It's like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in 2D, but really it's not. It's kind of like a puzzle platformer in a way with like score attack elements. You'll see as we get into it anyway if you're not familiar. This is OlliOlli2. It actually came out earlier this year on PSN. It might have even been late last year, but I think it was early 2015. I've played actually probably 3 or 4 hours of this on Vita. It was like for a while it was my go-to game to pop on during a flight if I'm bored of reading or something like that. I would put on OlliOlli2 and play until my thumb hurt from using the PS Vita thumb pad, which, took about an hour or so, and it's really good. It's now coming out on PC. You can play it more comfortably with the Xbox 360 controller, where I've used it so much that the nub has been completely worn down, so it doesn't injure my thumb at all. If you liked OlliOlli1, this is pretty much... Oh man, the daily is like... I was hoping that I'd be able to do it over the course of this one, but I already am dealing with a throw that I did on the NLSS. This is more of the same, but also a little bit more refined. It adds the manual. Apparently it adds reverts as well, though I haven't gotten far enough to learn those, but maybe that actually shows up in the skate park when you have a tutorial. Yeah, it does add reverts later. Anyway, I played about an hour and 45 minutes of this on PC so far. We played it for an hour on the NLSS. I'm going to talk about what I like about it, but first I'm going to explain to you that it's a little bit of a difficult game to play while talking about it at the same time. But I'm going to do my best to illustrate kind of like the controls, because this is a game where the controls are actually like integral to the overall experience. Unlike most skateboarding games, the big thing about OlliOlli that carries kind of like a learning curve, or OlliOlli2 in this case, that carries a little bit of a learning curve associated with it is that you have to press the A button to land. You don't land automatically, and it's very, very timing based. So if you... Oh, we almost ran out of speed there. If you press it a little late, you're basically screwed. You'll get almost no points. And if you press it super late, you'll just fall down like I did right there. So I got 0 scores, you can see, despite having the world's greatest combo. So we're going to play it again. So yeah, the timing on the landing takes a little bit of getting used to. And even though it might look like what I'm doing right now is very, very basic, I am hitting a lot of buttons. Like, this is like flick the analog stick, right trigger, and then press A at exactly the right time to land, and then also hold the left button at the same time after you land to manual. And the reason you manual, of course, if you played like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, you'll be familiar with this, is to, sorry about the restarting, I'm a little bit, up my own butt about trying to be a perfectionist here. I really wish that first run had just worked out fantastically. The reason you want a manual is to get that combo modifier up as high as you possibly can. You can actually realistically combo a whole level, and one of the things that was cool about OlliOlli is that you could do that, but you didn't have manuals in that game, so you just had to basically rely on the level design to give you grind rails that you could get on to combo the whole thing. So it made it so it was actually like a little bit easier to combo levels completely at sometimes, and actually like almost impossible on others. This one, it really comes down to a little bit more of your own manual skill, pun intended, I suppose. And there you go, I sloppied that one at the very end and got like a pretty poor score, but that's generally the basics of it. I'm gonna do one more run. Sure, we'll just do a new level here. I'm gonna do one more run here to explain what's going on. Spins are handled with the right trigger. I don't know how the PC controls are because I've exclusively played this on gamepad. Manuals again, as you land, you hit like left and then A, and then you hold the button. That's all right, we almost fell there. If you fall, you suck, basically is what I'm getting at. But you will see me fall many times. And tricks are basically done by flipping or flicking the analog stick. So if you do like that direction, I get a backside 180. If you do like a quarter circle, you might get a switch backside shove it, or a switch varial heel flip. Look, I'm not a skateboarder. Let's just be honest here. I got into it when I was 12 because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was a thing, but I never took it to the next level as much as, my adolescent desire was there. I didn't have the coordination, if you must know. Now we're getting into some personal stuff here. We're still going to finish. Not a particularly fantastic score, but that's okay. Every level has a few different objectives. So this one had get a score of 40,000 points, finish a ×8 combo, pull 2 tail slide grinds, pull a perfect grind, and grind all of the grind markers and finish. Let me see what the objectives are on this one. I've forgotten. Level 3. 310 to Olliwood. Grind the train on the Gunmetal Creek movie set and finish. You can see that there is a good variety. Oh, geez. There's a good variety of objectives here. Some of them are score-based, and those are the ones that I've always tended to gravitate towards more. And some of them are a little bit more puzzle-based. I hesitate to say that, but they're like puzzle platforming in a way. You know, like collect all of the grind rail markers or grind on all of the grind rail markers. Or like this one, which is specifically grind on that train and then finish the level. So we're going to try to do that one again, because that one should be relatively easy. The cool thing about it is that you don't really need to do all of the objectives to proceed. You do need a certain amount of stars. You get 1 star per objective to unlock future levels. And occasionally, you may have to go back and accomplish an objective that you find a little arbitrary, like, for example, do 2 kickflips. You might not, like, the patterns in your brain might be like, well, I'm used to doing frontside shove-its instead. But yeah, you just go back and do those, and it's relatively quick if you need to. But mostly just doing the score-based objectives has been enough for me to... Oh, I've fudged it up again. It's been enough for me to semi-consistently just never have to worry about getting to the next level. As long as you can get those score objectives easily, then you should have no problem progressing. And, I mean, that's not really the thrill of OlliOlli is not really in making progress and finishing the game. This is a game that's meant to be mastered rather than just played. And I know that sounds a little snooty. That's not for everybody. But I kind of think of it like Trials in that way. Like, oh my lord, come on. Most people, when they play Trials, they're not playing Trials to be like, at least I think they're not playing Trials to be like, look, I beat like all of the intermediate levels. I think to some extent they're playing it to be like, look at this, like I didn't fall down. I got 0 faults and I beat this level. And that's kind of what OlliOlli is like, to me, is like, if you know, beating the level is usually not that tricky. It's all about getting that like maximum score. It's a little bit like Guitar Hero-esque. I am an idiot. And I can't break out of my pattern, man, because I'm so used to getting the, like trying to get the full combo here. All right. The cool thing about the objectives that are not score-focused is that you don't have to care about your score at all as you come down. You know, you could just make sure that basically you're staying on your board, and as long as you're staying on your board, you should have a pretty good chance. It's like just after this, isn't it? I think it's just after this. So we're going to land, we're going to jump, and there you go. That one was easy. Now we'll just finish the level, and there's also like these perfect launchers. You'll find them in a lot of levels. Basically, you know, you can get perfects if you time things properly, like the green is perfect. You can get perfect grinds, you can get perfect landings, you can also get perfect launches off those ramps. So finally we accomplished that. Let's go back here. You can see that there are 5 different worlds in the game, and in an hour or so of play, I've almost gotten to the 5th one. The levels do get a lot harder, and I'll show that off soon, but there's also variance on the, if I should say 5 worlds, 25 levels. There's variance on the levels that are unlocked by getting 5 stars. So if you get every single objective on a level, you unlock the pro version of the level, which has like much trickier objectives. Like this one, get a score of 1.6 million points. That's not easy. That is actually like a fairly difficult objective. We've also got some hidden tape style stuff here. And I believe that the pro versions of the maps are actually completely different. Like this is not the same as the first level that you saw me play here. Oh, I really thought that we would land that. We need a little bit more speed. There's also a button to like push to go faster, but you can't do it while you're, you know, mid-manual, obviously. See if we can actually make this one happen. You can get extra speed by doing perfect grinds instead of just like, you know, decent grinds. But your manuals cause you to slow down, as you might expect. Oh, we made it. And we got the perfect, which is good. So it really, like, it has a learning curve, but it really rewards practice and perseverance. It requires a high degree of skill to do really, really well. But even this, after a couple of hours, admittedly, I had a little bit of a learning advantage having played the original. But I'm doing some pretty good stuff here, all right. Like, right off the bat, basically. So, amazingly, despite full comboing the whole thing, I did not even get a score of 1.6 million points. I needed, like, another maybe 20 to my combo, another 10. And also, I only finished one of the special objectives there. So, if you're worried, like, you were watching out earlier and you're like, oh, man, this looks like it's way too easy. There is stuff that is going to make your life much more difficult there. And also, you could just find yourself crashing and dying. Other things I want to mention, I think the game looks really good. It has, like, a minimalist and, like, sort of pastel. I almost want to say like Californian, but it makes me sound like I'm high off my own farts. Has an aesthetic that, you know, worked really well on Vita. It looks fine on PC, stretched out as well. You know, it doesn't look like a mobile port or something like that. Even though it's not, technically speaking, maybe the most impressive game, there's lots of good animations, or like lots of good detail on the animations. Like notice how the guy's shirt comes up, you know, as he jumps and stuff like that. It's affected by the physics a little bit. It looks fluid is what I'm trying to get at. It's probably not going to be winning any art awards anytime soon, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's actually really, really good. It's just kind of easy to judge a book by its cover, I suppose, which is, I guess, literally what a lot of critiquing graphics is, if I'm gonna, you know, pull the veil back a little bit. I'm trying to get this 1.6 million score because I'm actually mad that the game was able to get one over on me. Oh, that's not gonna be a perfect... Oh my god! He is dead. After this probably failed attempt, we'll try another level just to see if maybe I've lost my mojo here on these pro levels, which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the pro levels are quite difficult, at least to get the objectives. Oh, I'm dead. All right. Let's go to the level selection here. All right, before we do that, let's just talk about like what else you get in OlliOlli2. So you get Daily Grind. Daily Grind is one of the coolest features. Unfortunately, I can't show it off because I did the daily today. Basically, this is a daily challenge, but in contrast to something like Isaac or Spelunky, it's not going to take you 45 minutes to an hour. This is like, you get one course, it's usually like 15, 30 seconds, something like that. You can practice it as many times as you want, but then when you press the start button to go for real, that's your only attempt, you know? It's like a Ninja Warrior thing or something like that. So if you do like I did and fuck it up by getting a score of 0 by crashing, that's it for the day, and then it comes back later. So like there's a lot of pressure. It's a really cool style of daily challenge that I like a lot. There's the Trictionary, basically teaches you how to do all the tricks in the game, as you can see. I actually do not know what Combo Rush is. It looks like it is a multiplayer game that I cannot do because there are only one of me. Let's play 10 with 30 seconds. Oh, I bet it's just to see like what the highest score you can possibly get is. But hey, this is, you know, journalistic due diligence on camera here. I believe that this is new to OlliOlli. So yeah, it looks like it's just a score attack thing for local. It's the kind of thing where, you know, this game would benefit from online multiplayer. I don't think it's, like, offensive to suggest that, but at this point I've kind of come to expect that, you know, it's one of those things that is a luxury as opposed to a necessity. I remember, like, 2 years ago, like, every game, we're like, oh, man, it would be really sweet if this had online multiplayer. It doesn't make it false. It doesn't mean that it's incorrect. But I've come to accept that that is not something that happens all that often. Anymore. All right, let's get out of Combo Rush. Combo Rush is cool. Skate Park is basically our tutorial mode, and apart from that, like that's pretty much what you get. Oh, there's spots, which I guess are just like leaderboard competitions. Let's try this one and see if we can rank pretty highly. Only like 20 people have been playing the game so far, so I should have a pretty good chance of being, you know, inside the top 10, hopefully. But again, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We're actually pretty close to the top there. But really, it just comes down to the fact that I think, oh, I know some of these people. It comes down to the fact that I really like the core gameplay mechanics of OlliOlli, and I find that it's, let's do one of these levels. I find that it's very rewarding, and I find that it's satisfying, and it's one of those games that does a really, really good job of putting you into, like, a flow state. It is almost a little trialsy, as mentioned, you know. It's as much of a score attack game as it is, like, a pseudo, you know, physics-based puzzle platformer with speed-based puzzle platformer. Which might sound a little ridiculous, but trust me, when you play it, you'll know, man. And there's a really good skill curve, you know. You go from maybe having a hard time finishing the levels to all of a sudden being able to, you know, FC them pretty darn quickly. So I'm impressed that they've managed to make a sequel that was engaging, because OlliOlli2 came out relatively recently. I believe it was the start of 2014. That originally came out, but the sequel is very worthwhile if you enjoyed the original. I haven't seen the price on this yet, but I'm assuming that it's going to be $15 because the original was, well, it's like 14 on Canadian Steam right now, so I don't know. The Canadian dollar has fallen like 30% year over year, so who knows. Let's try some of these levels that I have not beaten yet, and you'll be ready to watch me get frustrated here because they really crank up the difficulty quickly. It's not just aesthetic changes, there's also all sorts of like mechanical changes that happen as well. Like, we're in this roller coaster themed area here. Oh, we barely made it there. And there's all sorts of cool like alternate paths that we can take on our routes because we can grind different parts of the roller coaster rails. So for the most part, like it's oh, I'm an idiot. It's pretty well integrated, like the atmosphere and the setting to the actual mechanics as well. It's neat. Like on the temple level that you just saw me do, it's kind of like Indiana Jones themed a little bit in like a, you know, superficial Joe Dangery kind of way. And there's like spike traps and fire traps and stuff like that. You go into underground caves. This is a roller coaster level, so obviously we get to, you know, grind the actual roller coaster rails. It's a weird game in terms of like muscle memory as well. Like, oh, careful. I don't really know what my hands are doing. Like, I don't tell my hands what to do. They just do it. And most of the time that works out okay, and I think that's... Oh, I burned to death. I think that's a sign of, like, again, it being mechanically strong, but there is a little bit of a learning curve associated with it. Like, I play this on Twitch on the stream, and there are people that just show up and be like, this looks like an iOS game. You know, you're missing out, you know? It's a minimalistic experience to some extent, but it's also way deeper than I think you notice just by watching. I did not mean to end my combo there. It's a game that requires a lot of skill and finesse to actually master, and it's got like that kind of Guitar Hero like pixel perfect stuff going on. I'm not gonna say that it's, you know, I want to be the Boshi or something like that, or in like super hard quote unquote tough as nails platformers or anything like that, but it's got its own vibe going on that I actually like a lot. OlliOlli's not really a game that I could sit down and play for, oh god, that I could sit down and play for like, you know, 6 hours in one setting, but it's a game that I really like playing for like 1 or 2 hours a couple of times a year, which might not seem like a glowing endorsement, but I think there's a place for games like that. It's a shame that the Vita actually like hurts my thumb skin to use for any conceivable length of time, because this is actually a game that works super well on mobile. It's just unfortunate that it controls a little better on PC, because I find the controller a little bit more comfortable, but, you know, that your mileage may vary there. Oh, come on, speed. I need more speed. We can do it. I missed it! Oh my god, I gotta finish this level. We're almost there. Get a score of 800,000 points should actually not be that tricky. Also, in kind of trademark Devolver Digital fashion, the soundtrack is awesome. It's got a nice vibe that definitely fits the game, and the tracks are pretty cool, like, kind of... I mean, I hate talking about music genres because I always make myself look like an idiot. It's kind of like IDM, I guess. It's kind of like, you know, intelligent dance music. I don't know. I'm out of the loop when it comes to that stuff. I'll let you guys criticize me in the comments, and that's one way that I'll learn. But yeah, OlliOlli2. Do you need it if you owned OlliOlli1? I mean, do you really need any game? No, it's getting a little bit meta for me here, but like, probably not, you know? It depends. If you enjoyed OlliOlli1, yes, you should get OlliOlli2. You're gonna enjoy this one. It's like the same game, but with more refinements, and I don't see a reason to go back to OlliOlli1 after having access to the manual, and perhaps eventually the revert as well, if they ever force me to learn it, because for right now, I'm like, you know, just trying to wrap my head around the 55 button presses I need to do to get a trick done. Oh. And land it properly, and then manual afterwards, and of course spinning all the time to try to get your combo as high as possible. Oh, that's not very good. If you didn't play OlliOlli1, but you like the look of what you see here, you should get this instead of OlliOlli1. Like, that's not even a contest, I think. This is the better game. The level design is a little bit more robust. Oh, I'm dead as hell. And the additions of... It's like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 Elite, right? Reich? I don't know, I said ripe the first time. The addition of the manual basically makes this like the definitive way to play. It'll be really hard to start OlliOlli2 and then go back to OlliOlli1 and be like, why am I not manualing? Anyway, we'll send out this video by me giving you the worst performance you've ever seen here. I'm hoping we can do it. I wonder. I think I gotta go down to that second rail instead. There's also a little bit of like an Action Hank thing going on. But it's not a game that's based on speed. It's a game that's based on skill and on practice as well. Like, I can't stress enough that I do a lot of pressing that Y button to restart here. Good. Good. Manual. Perfect grind. And then wait. Go low. Go low. Oh, man. We've actually done it. Did I not get the perk for... or the gap thing there for manualing? I think I deserved it, but you may be skeptical. Maybe you're just supposed to ride through it. I don't know. All right, take the lower path. Take the lower path. And we're back. Maybe I got it and I just didn't notice. Still going. Oh, it feels so good when you get a good run going. Oh. You can do it, you son of a bitch. We were so close. I got to get a little bit more speed there. All right, this will probably be the last one over the course of the video. Whew. We can do it. Again, the last, like, kind of the point that I'd like to reiterate here, I guess, is that I don't think OlliOlli is one of those games you buy for 15 bucks and then play it for, you know, 100 hours. You know, it's not like picking up The Witcher 2 in a Steam sale or something like that. This is the kind of game you can turn to as, like, a nice, I don't want to say diversion, because that kind of, like, is a backhanded compliment, but I do sort of mean it as diversion. Like, it's something you could do as a nice, you know, an evening time waster that is, you know, you could do a lot worse. I mean, this is coming across like backhanded compliments, and I don't mean it that way. I'm just trying to get at that, like, this is not a particularly, like, robust experience, but the core gameplay loop itself is awesome. It's like the opposite of a really shitty, like, 90-hour AAA RPG. I'm not calling out any names there. I'm just saying, like, imagine. This is a game that is a little bit lower on the just amount of shit that you can do, but every moment is the exact opposite of filler content, you know? Like, it's a meaningful experience. I don't mean like it's gonna change your life, but you know what I mean. Okay, we're gonna do this. And if you're thinking it's easy, bring your high scores on, motherfucker. Unless you're really good at OlliOlli, in which case you can stay at home because nobody asked you. Yeah, I hope that I've made my point relatively clear there. And mostly at this point, this is just an excuse for me to keep playing, which is a really good sign most of the time. Oh, we can do it! We had way more speed this time. Oh, I fudged it up, but at least I accomplished one of the objectives. Now, if we can just finish the level, that might be enough. And we've done it. Fantastic. Did we at least get the objective? We did. All right. That's OlliOlli2. Daily grind is really fun. The game itself is really fun. If you like OlliOlli1, you will like OlliOlli2. If you didn't play OlliOlli1, you'll probably like OlliOlli2, but you gotta know what you're getting into, you know? If you're not into this, like, fail, repeat, fail, repeat, fail, repeat, fail, repeat, perfect, fail, repeat, perfect, you know, slightly better, loop, you're not gonna like it. It's gonna aggravate the shit out of you. But for people that are into that, it's awesome. Lots of cool Easter eggs and stuff in the background as well. But this is OlliOlli2. You get the gist of it. It's available on Steam. I'm assuming it's gonna be $15, maybe $12.50, depending on what it releases for tomorrow. This is a review copy, in case I didn't mention it earlier. And of course, there will be a link in the video description below to pick it up on Steam if you're interested. If you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.